I'm so scruff.
Hello!
Is all the black and white is just going to be shit intros.
Oh, by the way, it's not a continuity error. I've got 2 coffee cups because these are only little and I wanted a big coffee, so.
Why don't you just put it in a big cup?
What do you mean?
Like a big mug or a glass?
No, because I wanted the lid.
Okay.
This podcast also has lids. Hello, and welcome to the Proper Rank Podcast, the podcast where we rank things properly.
Done?
Yeah, smashed it.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Oh yeah, you're Dan.
I'm Danny McLoughlin, this is Brennan Reece.
And we're on episode 3. 3 in a day out.
3 in a day. Oh, is that what we're doing? I wasn't sure whether we were doing 3 in 3 days, but yeah, 3 in a day is fine.
Yeah, just
fucking slam them out.
Yeah, just sling them right up there in everyone's faces.
Dash them out.
Remember
when that was a thing?
What? That?
Yeah.
I remember once going and seeing Disney on Ice, and a guy came out and he went, "Hello, I'm the London Bobby," and he was clearly doing that.
What?
He was like, "Oh, I'm not really giving it any context there." It was all about London. There was a London scene in Disney on Ice, and a guy came out and he was doing like big acting because it was like a voiceover, and he's like, "Hello, I'm the London," and then does the wank and then throws it away. "I'm the London Bobby."
Oh, is that because like people was it Disney on Ice over here?
Yeah.
Because isn't it funny talking to someone the other day about it, how like Americans just say wanker like it's not a swear word, like they just say, because it was on like The Simpsons once, like someone British, and they're like, "Oh, Homer, you bloody wanker." Something like that.
Have you heard about the TV show that came out a couple of weeks ago, Adolescence, and then it's obviously in America as well, and they've all just learnt the word nonce.
Oh, did they not know?
No.
Did they think it's when you do something less than once?
They they thought it's like you've mucked something up, which I mean, you kind of have for the rest of your life.
For the rest of their lives.
You've done a boo-boo. That's what they thought it meant.
Oh, that's what Yogi said when he.
Imagine he was like, "We've done a pedophiling.
We've done a boo-boo."
So if you've joined us at episode 3, I don't know why, go back to the other 2.
Weird that. Sort yourselves out.
Like a nonce. What we do every week is we rank things. This week, because it's April Fool's Day today.
Because it's April Fool's, we're going to do best Christmas decorations.
We're doing prank TV shows.
Yeah, sort of loose. I think
Loose prank TV shows.
Yeah, because a couple of them, the ones I've got, they've just got a prank in.
That's fine.
So it's not always like, oh, this is just about pranks.
They've got prank segments.
Yeah, or scenes of pranks, or that's what I've gone with anyway. It's loose.
Because you don't really get them on TV anymore, do you? And I'd think April Fools when I was younger used to be like a big thing.
Yeah, I don't think it was like I always missed it because I was always in bed till 12, and then I'd get up and I'd be like, April Fool's, and I'd be like, oh, it doesn't count.
They're the worst.
That's a shit rule.
Do you know when someone's like, "Oh, it has to be after 12?
All the jokes on you. You're like, oh, silly me.
Nah, you still got egg on your window, mate. The joke's on you.
Yeah. Your missus still isn't pregnant.
I hate those rules. Like,
yeah, it's that guy as well.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
and he has to make those noises. Like, mate, you need to do a prank just to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, you need to prank yourself off.
I thought this episode's called Proper Prank, by the way.
Prank, yeah.
I thought I got pranked the other week for a moment.
Yeah. What happened?
Do you remember when I went on that date?
No.
Well, I went on a date with a girl a couple of months ago who we found out on the date that my ex now goes out with her ex.
That's mad.
And I was thinking, well, this is weird. And then a few moments later, I realised the guy who was sat next to us who had headphones on was her ex.
He was there?
He was there. Like I'd said his name 3 times in the mirror. But she was looking at me.
Yeah, Brennan, meet Candyman.
How did he finger you? Quite painfully, actually, with his hook hands.
Is that Candyman?
Or Abu Hamza.
Yeah, I think I always get them two mixed up. Abu Hamzi man.
Abu Hamza. So I didn't know what to do because I see him, but she's facing me, and I'm going, am I being set up here? And then he leaves, and I tell her, I go, that's him. That's the Candyman.
That was Ashton Kutcher.
And then she went after him and
got back with him.
And now my ex.
And then they came in and went, where's Ashton? Where's Ashton?
The place where I live and I'm going back to now.
Oh, yeah?
They were like, the cameras are here. But there was a moment where I was thinking, this is too convenient. Not for me. But it was just bad luck.
Do you think there was... This is going to be the stupidest thing I've
ever said.
Yeah. Genuinely. Do you think there was ever a time where someone threw a citrus fruit over Ashton Kutcher's head? So there was at one point in time where he was Ashton under lime.
That is the silliest. Yeah.
I think it is the silliest thing anyone's ever said.
Or there was a bit where he stood on a sprig of thyme and he was Ashton upon thyme.
I love those though. You know, there was like a spate of them years ago. It was like Reece Witherspoon, and then it'd be like
with a fork.
Reece with a fork. I love them. So that's what that would be. Ashton.
It's like
Ashton under lime.
Did you ever see Jeremy Carbin? Someone just had a bin in the car with Jeremy's face on it.
My favourite was always Robert De Niro, and then they'd be like, well, it was Robert DeFaro.
And then there was one that went back like 10,000 years. Was it Robert DeFaro?
Oh, I like it.
So do you remember any pranks as a kid where you go like, love that?
Oh, what I will say is that the last prank happened to me is I was doing the beer keller, you know, in Manchester.
Oh yeah, the comedy gig at the comedy store.
And I came out. Oh, it was hilarious, right? I came out and it was so funny. Like, my car had gone out of the car park.
What, just like run?
And when that guy brings it back, it's going to be the best prank.
You better bring it back before midday, because the joke's on you.
Yeah, well, that's what that guy doesn't know, is that now he hasn't brought it back yet, so he looks stupid in.
So you got your car nicked a couple of months ago?
Yeah, but I'm playing it off as a prank.
Yeah, it's a big prank.
That's my main character syndrome. Like, I'm an unknown comic from Chester, but when my car went missing, I was like, ooh, Jeremy Beadle's going to pop out in a minute.
Yeah, Michael McIntyre's going to be doing his thing, whatever he does.
Yeah.
When he turns up, isn't that weird that he turns up to your house at midnight?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
So Michael McIntyre on his big show, he comes in while you're in bed. Imagine that, him just going like, get in the mandrel.
No, imagine if it was Michael McIntyre and Big Show from the wrestling.
Well, just choke shams your wife. Said sham then.
Choke sham. But I mean, that's what Sean Connery did do to his wife, to be fair. I just choke slam.
So yeah, he comes in your house with a camera crew while you're asleep. I don't think you are though, because no one's ever naked. You know. And also, they're not just breaking in. They must have your wife or your husband's permission.
Yeah.
So she's
Imagine if you just got him arrested.
Fuck you, what about Michael?
Just I'm pressing charges, mate.
What did he look like? The Efit's just Kim Jong-un.
See how the other inmates feel about your man drawer in the showers.
Trying to do observational stuff. Do you know when you get shanked? I think, imagine being, this is a handbrake turn. Imagine being a comedian in prison. Do you think you'd be loved or fucking hated?
It depends.
Which comedian you are? You're you.
Oh, I don't know. I think, I don't know for sure, but I'd argue that if I was in prison, I'd be in like the top 15.
Inmates?
Good-looking inmates.
That's the worst thing you could be.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So now I'm funny and hot.
Oh, yeah.
It's over for my little Jaxie.
So you're making them laugh and they're like inside you're like...
I'm the perfect package. I'm like, he's hot and funny.
He's getting choke-shammed.
I hope he makes his bed.
and intellectual.
Yeah, and I'm clever, yeah. I'll be in the library, getting bummed.
Getting bummed in your scrubs. Is it scrubs?
No.
What do they wear?
Jumpsuits.
Because they keep getting jumped.
Yeah, I think so. Oh. I wouldn't
do well
KMS,
in prison.
I think.
What's KMS?
Unalive. We have to say unalive.
Deed. Doing the deed.
Are you worried about how, like, stupid everyone sounds now because they don't use proper... Why can't you use proper words on the internet? Why can't you say dead on the internet? It's so stupid.
Well, I've got this has just been shadow banned. Even if can you say shadow banned anymore?
The last time Shadow got banned was because he was doing coke on the
Because he
Gladiators.
kept fucking knocking people's heads off with a pugil stick. It's the thing with online where people can't say deed anymore is they're like, this is the best place for free speech, and you're like, it ain't though, is it?
No,
because you can't say anything anymore, especially dead.
Yeah, it is rubbish.
The internet's
Teaching
rubbish.
people, it is rubbish. The internet's the worst it's ever been.
Well, bringing it back to this,
Smashed it.
always smashing it. I might not know stuff, but
You're the London Bobby.
I'm the fucking London Bobby. Me walking through like Covent Garden, just wanking up people. You can piss in me out.
If you're pregnant,
Oh yeah, only if you're pregnant. But who's doing the test?
just be like, imagine if you just went up to a girl and went, look, love, do you need a piss? You can piss in my hand. She's like,
She's
just fat, mate.
Yeah, I'm just fat, mate. The signs are here. I'm stood outside of Krispy Kreme. And I've got a box of 12 and no mates.
Inside a Krispy Kreme in the kitchen. Just getting them straight off the conveyor.
So the only thing I think online's good for now is watching old shows.
You brought that back so well.
So well.
That was so good.
Like that was like an ASOS return. Just dead easy.
Oh, is that I've never shopped on As Seen on Screen.
Mad in it that I seen on screen is now ASOS.
I do that all the time.
Which is what they call me in prison.
ASOS.
Like Thanos' gay brother. I snap my fingers and I make you
He
disappear.
snaps like that.
Where are them Infinity Stones?
Thanos is getting rid of people because he hates them. He's going. ASOS is going. Spider-Man, that outfit is so cunt.
Nice mask.
You are low-key hot.
Where's that Doctor Doom? Oh, he's just got a big glove with like stones in it.
Just rings.
Yeah, it just rings. Mood rings.
ASOS.
Thanos can make people disappear. They're like, have you met my brother? And they're like, what's his superpower? He'll just fuck you.
Yeah, you don't want to see.
You don't want to see.
Bend game.
Now all my feed on like TikTok and Instagram is just old pranks like that. I love them.
What shows?
Shows, little snippets, ones you can't even remember.
Oh, imagine that. Oh, we've circumcised you. A little snippet.
Jeremy Beadle's like, I've already lost quite a lot of skin on one hand.
Yeah.
If you're a younger listener, Jeremy Beadle was sort of...
He was like
He was the KSI of our time. He was. He was always doing mad shit.
He was, yeah. He had a little hand.
Tiny hand. And then when he died... So he did prank shows, Jeremy Beadle, but when he died...
Called Beadle's About.
He... Didn't the Sun do like quite a... Didn't like give him a big hand as their headline?
Something like that, yeah.
I met him once.
Did you?
Yeah. I auditioned for Beadle's About. I've just totally forgot about this. To be like one of the actors in Beadle's About. And I didn't know because I was like 10 years old. And I'm waiting outside. And there was a lad who I was always up for parts with called... What was he called? Like Greg. Oh, Greg. Greg. Yeah. I don't know what happened to him. Greg. Oh, it's going to annoy me now. And it'd be always just between us two. And he was sat next to me and he goes, are you excited to meet Jeremy Beadle? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, I've got a joke about him. And I go, what? And he goes, what have Big Ben and Jeremy Beadle got in common? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, they've both got a big hand and a little hand. I'm like, what? And he's like, they've both got a big hand and a little hand. And I'm like, what are you on about, Greg? And he goes, Jeremy Beadle's got like a baby's hand. And I'm literally like, what are you on about? And they go, right, come on, you're through next. And I come in and he offers the tiny hand to shake my hand
Yeah,
with.
he was, to be fair to Beadle, he was well ahead of everyone doing fist bumps.
Yeah.
Before he was fist bumping everyone before everyone.
But he offered it, like, as in like, hiya. And I screamed in Jeremy Beadle's face. Turns out Greg ended up on Beadle's about, not me.
Imagine what could have changed. Like, your life could have just been totally different.
Yeah. I could have been like Premier Prankster.
They could have dropped the skip on you instead of that car. That was the best one. Do you remember any of them?
No.
So I don't really remember any of them, except the main one is the skip. They dropped a skip on someone's car.
Fucking hell.
But he just brushed it off because it was just a prawn cocktail crisp. It's just that to Jeremy Beadle's little
Just
hand,
fizzed away in the
that was dead heavy. That skip. No, they dropped the skip on someone's car and it squashed it. And I just remember he always used to turn up at the end like dressed as like a traffic warden or a police. He was always like,
But with the worst facial hair beard.
yeah.
Like elastic beard. He'd be like,
elastic beard goes out with Assos.
Why are they called elastic? Well,
So elastic beard is Mrs. Incredible.
oh yeah.
So he used to turn up, but he'd be in a bush and like you'd be like, what? Why is there a cop with a little hand in a bush?
Yeah,
He'd be
holding a tiny lollipop for being the lollipop lady.
Oh yeah, just a little
Yeah.
Chupa Chups. That was the one. They dropped the skip, and that was the first one I ever saw like that, and it just blew my mind. I was like, "Whoa, can you do this to people?"
What, can you just drop skips? That was in the era where pianos were just dropping out the sky, though, wasn't it?
It was. I think it started in like, I don't know whether it was late 80s, early 90s. I don't know whether it was. I know it did 10 seasons though.
Beatles about. So I would have been about 10 when I auditioned. So that was like 97.
Right, so 93 it started.
Yeah.
And it ran for years and years. And it was like, do you think like, because obviously I think Punk'd came out, genuinely wonder this. Punk'd came out in like 2003 or something like that.
Okay. MTV.
Yeah. Do you reckon like Ashton Kutcher nicked it off Beatles About?
I reckon there was like whoever was in the office, which I reckon was just Ashton, just on his own, just put different caps on. I reckon they must have looked back at some of them and been like, should we just update the skip one?
Yeah.
Because there was one where someone got the car smashed up
Right.
with an Escalade.
Oh, I'd love an Escalade now, mate.
Would you?
In the inside coverlet of Tim Westwood's album Westwood Volume 1, he's there with his white Escalade. Yeah, and I thought that man was so cool.
Is that before or after he said, wrap it up before you slap it up? He said that once on Radio 1.
I'm convinced he's a prank. Like, he should have been a prank. Like,
I wish he was a prank now.
Mate, I
He's
bet
in
he wish
trouble,
he had
isn't
a
he?
prank, and then he wouldn't have wanted to go and touch Freshers. He should have had a prank before every Freshers gig, and then he wouldn't have been going out and be like, "Get your pum pum out, girl."
But doing it with his own mouth.
That was Seal. Wouldn't it be funny if Seal did a gig once, but just did Seal?
Balanced the ball on his nose. And they're like, can you just play Kiss from a Rose? And he's like, scoffing fish.
Oh, shout out Heidi Klum. So Beatles About was like proper English as well. And then Punk just felt like, whoa.
It's because celebs were involved. That's why it was so good.
You are right. That's what it was.
And it was like big. I looked through the list of celebs that they had on there. They had decent ones, you know.
Yeah, if you did that now, it'd be like, wow, one of the sidemen loses his club card. It's like, whoa.
But that's why I like British remakes of America. Do you know when they tried to do celebrity stuff?
It's never as good.
It's never as good because they go like,
This was Bruce Willis, now it's Rylan. You're like, what is going on?
it's like one of the
Shout out
one of the
Rylan.
drummers of the Beatles who left.
But no, that's still Ringo Starr.
No. Pete Best. It's like when they do it on Masked Singer now, and they always have to say, the politician and podcaster.
Lembit Opik.
And he's dressed as a giant banana.
Oh, miss that. Miss Lembit Opik.
Do you remember when he was banging both the cheeky girls?
Was it both or one? I think it was one.
I reckon he touched both their bums because this is nice.
It is nice. People only remember Gabriella.
You remember their names?
Yeah, it was Gabriella and it was like Mia or something like that.
Mia?
They were weirdly like everyone's dad wasn't that bothered about them Romanians coming over. He was like, oh, get the Romanian. Oh, them two can stay.
This is nice.
Them two can stay. Do that little spin again. Yeah, mad. Punk was good. What was Punk in my head? Punk's one of them things though. I lump it in with like Cribs and all that.
Yeah.
So what I mean is now you found out that Cribs wasn't real.
What?
Yeah, they just used to rent a house.
What, and fill the fridge?
Yeah. And the
No!
do you know what, right, Brennan? I don't want to break your heart, but I don't think any magic ever happened in any of them rooms.
Imagine patting a bed with silk sheets and being like, this is where the magic happens.
Yeah. That was like one of my first ever like comedy ideas. I was like, and then I'd do Cribs, and then I'd go down and there's like a magic wand and like it's set up and I'd be like, this is where the magic happens.
That's so good. That'd be good. And you're like, with a tea towel and a spoon going,
yeah.
I can't believe Cribs wasn't real.
Or Pimp My Ride. Them fish tanks. What? They took them out. That's what they like, did it all and then like, right, give us that fish tank back.
Basketball net. I always remember basketball. Imagine being stood in a B&M car park throwing basketballs.
You're Cleo.
And then like running around because it's hit the rim. And you're like,
we'll leave this because we won't edit it, but we might want to touch on this. I think this might be a top 5 MTV shows of the noughties, so we'll keep that.
I know what my favourite one was.
All right, well, let's sit on that for then.
But like,
Anos.
Anos.
I've written a list down there just of loads of, and we've got very distinctly British ones.
When they use the sound effect like boing.
Yeah, and then we've got American ones which are dead slick. So jumping off from punk, do you remember Rio Ferdinand tried to do his own punk?
No.
It was called You Got Murked.
Was it online?
No, it was on like ITV or something.
What?
Yeah. And he'd be like,
what? Where like they stick like a pube wig on someone? Be like you've been murked.
You got murkined. No, so it'd be like, he's tied Ashley Cole's laces together, or Ashley Cole's card.
What, he fell on a cock?
Yeah.
You just been murked by Assos.
And then Rio would come in at the end and be like, you got murk blood.
That's the thing. As a prank host, it's the easiest thing in it because you just come in and you go, there's cameras there. Yeah. You got murk. And you just say,
that's it.
So there was one that was mad with OJ Simpson.
You got murdered. The glove fits, yeah.
Well, he kept saying that was the slogan. He was like, if the glove don't fit.
Fuck off.
Yeah. He'd knocked over like a priceless vase, or got someone to knock over a priceless vase, and he'd go, well, if the glove don't fit.
Imagine it was just OJ just going around and be like, you've stabbed me, vase. And it was just like everything. What? OJ Simpson stabs your car up. And it was just him going, if the glove don't fit.
I've just made this nice loaf. If the glove don't fit. It was called Juiced. It was OJ. Yeah. And he'd be like, you've been juiced. And it's like, you've been let off repeatedly.
They was going to go with OJ. They wasn't going to go with his Orenthal. I think that's his name.
Do you know one of my favourite pranks I've ever... and it was a radio one. I've loved the old radio ones. I think it was Australian. And what they did is they got... Do you know what I'm about to say? No. Basically, so it was this Australian radio show, I think. And they rung 2 babe stations at the same time.
Right.
And they were chatting each other up because they didn't realise. Oh. So they're like, what are you wearing? And then the other one would be like, what are you wearing? And then they'd be like, I'm wearing fuck all. And the other one's like, well, I'm wearing fuck all.
Oh, that's so funny.
And they just go, like, they're just like, basically vocally lesing off.
Did you see that one similar? It wasn't a prank, but where they ring a husband and wife.
No.
And ask them the same questions. And if they get the same answer, they win like a holiday it was.
Right, okay.
So they asked the guy and they were like, what did you do this morning? And then they were like, oh, we had breakfast. And then they were like, and then what did you do? And they were like, we had sex. And they was like, well, where? And he was like, in the kitchen. And then they asked her and they were like, we had breakfast, we had sex. And they were like, where? And she's like, I don't think I should say. And they were like, oh no. I don't know if it's real, but I've heard it loads.
In the ass-ass?
Yeah, in the ass-ass.
Free returns.
It might be just, I think I've heard that. And we don't fact check on it.
Australian radio is fucking madness.
Is it? I've never been to radio.
It's huge. It's huge. Like their Australian presenters get paid like millions of dollars.
Right.
Like starting wage.
Yeah.
And because obviously everyone's driving around because it's so massive. But they do like, not to catch a predator, but they do like catch your bird cheating, catch your husband cheating.
Oh, sound.
And they'll ring them
on
up.
the radio.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock.
At 9 a.m.
Right, we're going to ruin a life.
And they're like, it's me, Dave Allen Bonzo. They're like, we've got Alison here and she's deeply unhappy with her relationship. Why? Because her husband's cheating. She's here in the studio. We're going to ring up and pretend that we're a hotel giving away a free thing.
That's so mad.
It's the one that I've heard is they're giving away on Valentine's Day a bouquet of flowers. So they ring the guy and they're like, and who would you like to give them to? And he's like, well, not my wife. The wife's there. He doesn't know, obviously. And then he's like, I'm going to give them to Jessica. Oh. And then they patch the wife and she's like, you're going to give it to who?
That's like, audio pranks is not something I've even thought about because we're obviously doing prank TV shows, but I didn't even think that, because you'd think it's all visual and you wouldn't be able, you need to see this. Imagine if it was on the radio and they're like, that was a skip dropping on a car. It just wouldn't be.
There's a tiny man with a beard.
You want to see this guy's hand? It's well little.
Because like prank phone calls that's our era. I don't know whether people are doing prank phone calls anymore.
I think that's just The Simpsons, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I used to ring the sex line 0800 28 29 30.
Right.
And it'd be like, I think it'd be like if you were worried whether you'd been pregnant or whatever. But I'd ring up and I'd go, what's tits? From like the phone box. Yeah. What's tits? And they'll go, can you stop ringing?
Yeah.
And go,
Brennan,
what is tits?
What is tits? That's very like philosophical though. Like, we got a philosopher here. What is tits?
Free phone. What is tits?
I did a prank once and I don't know if this is a prank or not, but we rang a restaurant and we couldn't get in. I was like, oh, have you got any tables? He's like, oh, it's very full. It was a Saturday night. And,
it's very full.
It's very full. It's very busy. And he was like, we've got a reserve list though. We'll ring you if, he said, what name is it? And I just went, it's Solskjaer. Because I was like trying to think of a footballer that not too famous, because he wasn't really, like that lived in the area or could live in the area. But like you couldn't be like, it's Beckham.
Yeah.
So it had to be someone that's like plausible. And they were like, oh right, sir. There's a table just come up.
And what is your first name? Ollie.
We didn't ask. And then me and my mates just turned up and we were like, table for Solskjaer. And the guy was gutted. He was like, where's?
That's so good to get into places.
Fucking sniped him off.
Who do you reckon would work now? Because you couldn't go like Haaland.
No, it'd be like McTominay.
Yeah.
So it'd be like someone who's like, it's obviously a big, that you know them.
But you don't know, you just know the name.
It couldn't be like someone like, you couldn't say like Andy Robertson, because you couldn't be like, it's Robertson, because there's loads of Robertsons, so it's got to be someone.
It's Messi.
Yeah.
And how are you spelling that?
Yeah.
M?
It's Salah. Okay, sir. And you aware that this is a hog roast restaurant?
Trigger Happy TV.
Right. Weirdly, I didn't watch loads of that, and I don't know the guy. I know his name.
Dom Jolly.
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but
I did. Dom Jolly.
I just didn't like his head.
What, his face?
Yeah, I just thought he'd annoy me, and him doing that. Sometimes you put yourself in the guy that's doing the prank, and sometimes you put yourself in the guy and I'd be like, if I was watching that, if I was driving and he's dressed as a fucking snail going over the just used to, and I know that's what they probably wanted, and it was no slight on him. It was dead good, but I could never watch it because I'd just get too fuming.
Because if you were in the car...
I never laughed. I just always got angry.
Did you?
Yeah, I was always like, oh, that'd do my fucking head in if he was on that big phone shouting.
No, I was well on his side because I was thinking, I could be that person.
No,
I could be Big Phone Man.
The one I remember is the snail. I think that was always my favourite. Do you remember it?
Yeah, when he'd go over a zebra crossing as a...
dead slow.
I just run him over and be like, thought it was a snail.
Thought it was a snail, mate, yeah.
Snail, mate.
Snail, mate, yeah, it's like coffee, mate. Makes your snail whiter.
Because the biggest one was the phone.
Yeah.
Do you know we got nicked recently?
Did it?
Someone pinched his big phone.
What's mad is if you look back, like, phones, it wasn't that much bigger than a normal phone. The time was like 2 inches bigger than a 3210, that.
I know, like, if someone heard that now, the diddly-dee, diddly-dee, diddly-dee-dee, most people wouldn't know what that was, would they?
You'd think, like, fucking someone had time travelled.
It's still stag do behaviour, though. Do you know what I mean?
That's such a good term.
It's so stag do behaviour.
That's such an insult as well. And so, mate, what are you doing? This is stag do behaviour.
Stop shouting "Run, Forrest, run" as I'm trying to get to the train. That is stag do behaviour.
That's so funny.
But diddly dee diddly, hello, mate. It was on 20 years ago. Hello.
People still do it.
Yeah, I reckon people are still doing. It's the people that get. Do you know those pants that fall off in the in the sea?
Yeah.
In water.
What's the word? Why can't it?
Disappearing. Dissolvable shorts. Like, if I was on a stag do and someone came up to me and was like, "You gotta wear these shorts."
Yeah. I'd just be like,
I'd be like, "Hello." Absolutely. It's the thumbs on the table.
Oh, I hate it all. Get your dick out.
Get your dick. Why?
Lick everyone's dick.
Yeah. I've seven balled you.
Tastiest dick wins.
As a group, we've just seven balled you. Tony has only got one ball.
I mean, to be fair, the new Snow White is good. No wonder people. Some seven balled, yeah.
That's why they can't do any premieres. She's just like, I'm so tired.
Just like mess up. Like, what's that? It's that sneezy. Sneezy this. What the other one that was like that was Phone and Face Jacker, wasn't it?
So good. Hello, Dings.
Also, like, voices are funny. And because the guy is like, it's Kayvan Nova, because he's like Iranian or something.
Yeah.
Get away with it.
Also such a sick actor.
Like, it's hardly like, again, but this might work. Like, I'm sure it's hardly like when Ant and Dec were blacking up.
Hello, Dings.
How are Dings? Fucking how are Dings?
It's me, Mohammed. How are Dings?
Trying to be the owners of Newcastle. It's fucking Sheikh Alba. You're like, what?
With them two.
Putting the brown in Newcastle brown.
It's like, what, the Newcastle strip is white and black? How they got away with that and still national treasures?
Yeah, I mean, they've got away with a bit, haven't they, to be fair?
But partly more than anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just going to drive over that child while I'm drinking. It's a prank. Where are the cameras? It's a prank.
Fucking Saturday night, take him away. That's what the police should have said.
I'm going to make Diana's old bodyguard eat a shrimpy dick. It's a prank.
Is that Paul Burrell?
Paul Burrell.
He's from round here, him.
Is he?
Farndon, yeah. He had a flower shop.
I bet he was busy. I bet there's a conspiracy theorist who was like, he killed her to sell more flowers to put on her grave.
Yeah, that's why he was there like 3 weeks before, tying them around the lamppost in the tunnel. You're like, why are you doing that? He's like, just you wait and see.
Just doing arrangements in the shape of the Eiffel Tower.
Arguably the greatest prank of 1997, if it paid off. Imagine that. What would be the best prank?
What, like comeback prank?
Yeah,
like that?
other than like my car turning up.
I'd love to see. So there's some conspiracy theories that MJ isn't dead. He's this like bald man with a thin nose who looks like Nosferatu.
Are you going to tell them there's a dog in the gig?
It's MJ. MJ's back. My dog's here.
Go on. So MJ being alive is...
But I'd love it. Like, how would he reveal it? Would he just like be in the queue for like post office and then just like moonwalk out and then like grab his crotch and be like, I'm back. I'm back. You know I'm really back. But like, or just like grab his kid now, full size, and anchor over a balcony.
And just drop her.
Drop her. Blanket.
So, is it someone coming back from the dead? Is that the best?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be someone coming back for the. Like,
yeah.
Jesus did it. That was a good prank.
He did do it. That'd be the best prank.
What if Jesus comes?
No, if the Pope just went, mate, you're all fucking losers.
He just comes out like he's on live at the Apollo through that smoke. And he just goes
through the white smoke, and he just comes out like, yo, you fools. He opens the big Bible, and it's just crayon, and it's just him going, suckers.
And then Cardinal fucking Schrank will be going, it's 12 past 1. Joke's on you.
Have you got any that you definitely want in, do you think?
Oh.
That you don't know where they're going to be on the list, but you know that it's top 5?
I know top tier one. And it often gets forgotten.
What is it?
Balls of Steel. Oh. It was so good. It was maybe, in my opinion, might be the best.
So who's that? That fucking tall idiot.
Oh, yeah, Mark Dolan.
Yeah, and then it was Olivia Lee.
So Mark Dolan just hosted it. And what they had on, if you've never seen it, it was this show from like the early 2000s, and they'd have maybe like 5 different...
Was Alex Zane on that?
No, that was Rude Tube.
Right.
Unless he hosted it as well.
I don't know.
I can't remember. So there was like 5 people, a bit like Taskmaster, who were trying to win the episode with the best pranks. So they'd have different people. They had like a guy called like Militant Black Guy.
Yeah.
And he'd be in public and he'd
He's
go...
a comic, I think.
Is he?
Todju. No, it might have been
Todju. Yeah. And so he'd be in public.
Do you hear about that guy?
No.
Someone gave him a lift once, like all the way back from a gig. Yeah. And then when he got out, the guy was like, this was a prank. This was like... and by the way, this is like Danny, Mylene, Kim, Suzanne and Noel. Hearsay. And he was like, the guy was like, so it's going to be about 20 quid. Like,
in petrol?
Yeah. And he was like, no, I don't believe in petrol money. Like it was Buddha, and he just got off. He didn't believe, I don't believe in petrol money.
Fucking hell.
What a great way of getting out of anything.
I mean, but then you become that story. You never want to be that story. So, Militant Black Guy was a character on Balls of Steel. Yeah. He'd be in public and he'd go into a coffee shop and he'd be like, can I get a coffee? And they're like, how do you want it? He'd be like, without milk. And they're like, black. And then it'd do this like silent go,
like the Kill Bill.
Yeah. And he goes, black? What do you mean black? And then
he was British though.
I'm sure he said it like that though.
Oh, right, okay.
He didn't go, black? Yeah. What do you mean black?
Bloody black.
But there'd be so many brilliant ways. You just see white people going...
That's funny.
My favourite one, there was a guy called Big Gay Following. He was just like a burly gay guy, and he'd call a plumber around, and the plumber would come around to his house, and they'd be like looking on the thing, and he'd just go, fancy a bum? You just see this guy go, you what? You go, fancy a bum? He goes, what do you mean fancy a bum? He's like, well, we'll leave this and we'll just go upstairs. Fancy a bum? And they'll go, no. He goes, all right, just checking.
Did anyone say yeah?
I don't think so. Oh. That would have been great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Fancy and just seeing him panic.
Yeah. Go on then. Like gay chicken, is that what they call it?
Chicken. Cock Van, I think.
He was a plumber. What else was on it?
Oh, there was so many of them. The biggest knob on there was Mark Dolan.
Yeah.
Because he went GB News, didn't he? And then during COVID, he cut up a face mask. Do you remember that? He was like, we don't need face masks. And then cut it, but struggled to cut it up. He was like he was doing it with green and yellow handle scissors. He was like,
Balls of Steel was Banzai. Was that a prank show?
it was the golden era of pranks.
Is that a prank show though? I suppose it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that means the first. Does Dennis Pennis count?
I don't know what that is.
It was Paul Kay. You know.
Oh, he's mint.
So he had this character called Dennis Pennis, and he was doing like the original red carpet.
Well, that was on Balls of Steel.
Right.
That was Olivia Lee.
Right.
And she'd have that's when she squirted Tom Cruise in the face with some water. Fuck. And it made international news.
International cruise.
She had a little squirt, like a microphone that squirted out, and also on it, it'd say things like, paedophile in waiting on the cube.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, Dennis Penn, the one I remember, he went up to Demi Moore.
Demi.
Just a question to me. Do you remember Dennis Penn? Do you remember what he looked like? Ginger, big glasses.
Oh, maybe.
And he said, if it was artful and tastefully done, would you consider leaving your clothes on in a movie? That was like early 90s.
Did I ever tell you about the time when I had an interview cancelled when I was interviewing two celebrities?
No.
Back in the day. So I was doing a press day for like Top Gear for Lad Bible, and I got to interview Matt LeBlanc and Chris Evans. Matt LeBlanc, absolutely sound, dead nice. And I was just basically doing it a bit thick. So I was like looking at the stuff, and I'd say things like, hi, Matthew. If you were to be like any character in Friends, who do you think you'd be?
That's funny.
And he was just dead good.
He got it?
Yeah, he got it from the off.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, on the other hand, who was riding around set on a Segway, did not get it.
Trying to get himself a new girlfriend.
Well, this is the thing that changed it.
Oh.
So I was on there, and
Ruin the gag.
At first, I had my notes as if it was the wrong Chris Evans.
Right.
So I was asking him
Wolverine.
about films and stuff. Yeah. And then they brought in another set. So I go, oh, sorry, my fault. And then I asked him the question. You could see he was really annoyed. And I said, you've been out with loads of celebrities, haven't you? And you could see him like sort of his back goes up. And I go, Carol McGiffin, Billy Piper. Is it safe to say that you don't have a type? And he took his microphone off and he went, get this prick out of here and stop. I saw a prank the other day on TikTok that it's my favourite thing. And it's just the same thing every single video. Have you heard of the Jabaloon Show?
No.
It's a guy, right? He looks sketchy as fuck. And he goes up to people in the street and he's like, I'm just trying to do some promo to boost my my socials. He goes, hey, we're here on the Jabaloon Show. I'm here with a massive fan. You love the show, right? And they're like, yeah. And he goes, how long have you been watching? And they're like, since the beginning. He's like 3 years in. He's an original. So check out the Jabaloon Show. And depending on what the person is like, he's like, the number one place to find white supremacy online. And they go like, what? And he's like, he's like, the hottest black guys in Milwaukee. And the guy's like, no. I feel so cool.
I like my favourite one of them is, did you see, I can't even remember what it was. Do you know my least favourite of them is, do you know when, you all right? You okay?
Hi. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Cheers.
As in,
That's scraped it or?
Just said a bump, so I don't know if somebody's like backed into it or.
I'll go and have a look. I'm parked away from everyone as well.
Oh.
So annoying. I'm gonna have a look. I guess if someone's seen it, it's like a. You got punked! Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, do you know what? I just thought, what a good thing to do on the prank show is to get Tanya.
She sold it so well.
Tanya absolutely smashed it.
Everyone did their job. Even Scruff didn't give it away.
Scruff didn't give it away.
Fuck. I think I even dealt with it quite calmly.
I know.
But do you know what? I had a similar idea, but it was nowhere near as good as that. I was just going to cough for a bit and then be like, fuck. I've not been pranked like that in... That was so good. I don't know.
I mean, she wouldn't dress up as Jeremy Beadle, Esther.
I even looked then. I was like, she's got two big hands. It can't be a prank.
She got two hands.
Two hands.
His other hand wasn't big. That wasn't why it was.
Do you know what pranking is? I've just realised. It's like polite bullying.
Yeah, it is. It's just bullying. She went and looked at the reg. I just said the green Mini. I set it up before you came in.
That is so good. But even the fact that I'd literally parked away from all the other cars. I was like, fucking hell. Because she could have come in and given it the big one.
She smashed that.
It's the only thing that's been fucking smashed.
Mate, imagine if that's the prank. You go out there and
there's a skip on it. It's probably the biggest show of the past 10 years.
Okay.
Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, do you know what? I've obviously seen it, and I never liked... do you know what I don't like? I've just remembered now. Like, I've just thought about it. And it's the same with Ant and Dec. It's, you know, when someone's on a mic... Going, say this. Touch your knee. Like, it's just like, I hate it.
Yeah, blow a kiss.
Yeah, and it's just how smug them guys are.
Stag do behaviour.
Yeah, them normal looking mid guys that are on Impractical Jokers, like just fucking absolute preset 7 on Create a Player FIFA.
Totally. But also those guys, like, do you know those American sets for like pranks where you're like, this isn't real?
Yeah. Yeah, and then touch your ear.
Yeah. Wiggle your toes.
I didn't like it, and to the point where I can't tell you anything about it other than I hated all the guys' There's one guy with a stupid name like Muzz or I hated his face, and they've all got 3-letter names like they can only put their...
They all call like...
Yeah, it's like Sal.
Like they've just got second on an arcade
yeah,
machine.
Exactly. It's like they can only just input their things on an arcade.
Bowling names.
Yeah, BGA. So... What are they? Mur was one of them. Or something. Mur. That's what he used to say when he found out. He's like, oh, and he'd go, Mur. He can't point at the camera.
But this show is probably on like season 406.
Yeah.
There must be a point where people in America are like, is that Mur?
Is that Mur? It's gold and frankincense.
It's just been murked.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
So they tried to do UK versions with like our mates. So it was like Paul McCaffrey, who's dead good at comedy. Do you know what? Everyone on there was good.
Really good. Marek
Larwood, Roisin Connaughty.
And Dommett on it.
Yeah, Joel Dommett. And they just weren't mates.
Couldn't do that now. Not with Dommett.
No. You'd just be asking everyone to take their hats off.
He'd go up to people like, oh, take your mask off. And they were like, I was in a fire.
The Simon Weston episode.
In the shopping centre.
But British versions, that's like...
Who is Freddy Krueger? And he's like, no, I was in a fire.
Who's behind the mask? Me, I'm very, very, very ill. It's, what's she called? Fingy Porter.
Fingy comes and cuts the mask up. Mark Dolan, fucking knobhead.
But that's why UK versions, like remakes, never work because they're just like, it's too British. They were like, Go and poo over there. Get your knees out. Do the Macarena. Just never worked.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do.
Show him the V's.
Go to shake his hand and go na 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 na.
Shout unexpected item in bagging area.
Pretend you've got his nose.
Get off your phone. Yeah,
Frank.
Can't stop pranking. We're back.
We're back.
And we've got a list. We've got a top 5 prank TV shows.
Took us ages.
Coming in at 5.
Impractical Jokers.
American version.
Right. Okay. Why are you putting that there? Just because of the...
Because it was so massive.
Impact.
It was just massive, wasn't it? Impactical Jokers.
Oh, I like what you did there.
Thank you. It was massive, and it's never not on the telly. And maybe we wouldn't like it, but some of you knobs will.
Yeah, some of you. This is
Can't have you getting on the comments. Oh, what about Mer?
You can do that if you want. What about Mer? That would be on our merch. Oh, it'd be merch.
He's over there on the merch stall.
Stand. Okay, what for?
Balls of Steel. Right. I would have had it higher, but Danny's stronger than me.
I've never really seen it. I defer to you on this one. Like I like the sound of it. when
I said fancy a bum, loved
fancy
all
a bum sounds great.
And there was just loads of other different characters.
I mean, out of all these ones, that's the one I'm now going to check out.
You got to check it out.
Is it on 4OD?
4OD, yeah, along with...
Called that now? More 4.
There's something about Miriam.
Something about Murray.
Murray. And what was that other one? That Playing It Straight. They're all still on...
What's that?
That reality show where they were trying to find gay guys and straight guys.
I thought you were just like reading out your acting credits. 3 is Beatles About. Classic.
It's a classic.
Trailblazer. There's probably ones that we forgot. That there was probably like a prank show from 1962 where they're like, oh,
well, they would have done it.
The Koreans are invading. And you're like, ah.
War of the Worlds. Is that what you? Yeah. That was a massive prank.
It was
wasn't
a massive prank. People
believed it.
Is that when they just all died because they were thirsty?
No, that's War of the Third Worlds. Number 2. Number two.
Punked.
It's
just slick Beatles About, innit? It's like, and it only beats Beatles About because of celebs. Its use of celebs.
Taylor Swift was in it.
Was she?
Yeah, Taylor Swift. She thought she'd set fire to someone's wedding yacht by accident.
Oh, that's funny.
Justin Bieber. Pink.
Jink.
You've been pinked. That's Assos again.
Fancy a bum. That's browned.
Pumped.
And in at one, we've not mentioned it. I did it on purpose because I was going to say, you mentioned it a little bit, but then you didn't even... Jackass is the best punk show ever.
It's the best punk show.
It's the best because it's Jackass is the best prank show ever.
Without a doubt. I know that they all weren't pranks.
No, but the pranks on it were phenomenal.
Like, imagine nowadays trying to get an alligator in your parents' house.
Oh,
Bam Margera just setting an alligator in his mum's house.
By the way, shout out Viva La Bam, which was there was a couple of that. CKY was another one.
CKY was a spin-off.
But we're not talking about them. We're talking about Jackass.
The TV show Jackass.
And some of the pranks on the films were good as well. Like, did you see the guy sitting on the toilet?
It blew up?
Yeah, but like, he was in the toilet showroom and it just went, Went so fucking amazing. Like, they're so good. Oh, and when they put the baby on the...
When they put the baby on the
top of the car and drove off.
And eating the chocolate pudding out of the fucking...
Nappy.
Yeah. So quotable. So mint. If you're young and never seen it, if you're old and never seen it, if you've never seen it, get online. Watch it.
Go on the internet.
And as always, if you don't agree with us, get in the comments.
Yeah, tell us what we missed out. Dirty Sanchez and that.
So there's the list. In at 5, Impractical Jokers. In at 4, Balls of Steel. Number 3,
Beatles About.
Number 2,
Punked.
and number 1.
Hi, I'm Danny McLoughlin, and this is Proper Rank.